So I was wanting to do a video about oven roasting tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes, which I have put in the oven at 400 degrees for until their skin puckered, which is usually 20 to 30 minutes. And it's an easier way than boiling them and peeling them. So I do this every year now. Notice I'm wearing a nice glove. It makes it easier. You can work with them when they're hot. And really the best technique is to pinch rather than just pull, which of course I did towards the end when everything had already been done. The tomatoes have to then be put into jars, which you will see I have currently boiling for 10 minutes to sterilize in my 16-quart Presto pressure canner. But I use that because it has the height I need for pints, and it takes 85 minutes of boiling, which I usually prefer steam canning, but if you have to boil it, you need a larger unit, you need 2 inches of water above the jars, and you need a nice trivet at the bottom as well. So these are just plain roasted tomatoes, but I find it much more expedient to do it this way than to boil and peel, as most women will tell you, or men will tell you when they've gone ahead and they've worked with tomatoes. So then afterwards, when it's all been done, I take out the jars from the water bath, as you can see here. And then I place the funnel on top. You put in the lemon and salt if you want it. Lemon, a tablespoon, salt, half a tablespoon salt. It's not necessary, but it's wise to put a little bit in. I do anyway. And then you scoop it into the jars. I use the elf glove because it's a hot jar. Then after you've completed this filling of the jar, which is up to ½ an inch height, then you have to debubble this jar, which means putting a wooden utensil or otherwise inside the jar to take out any of the air. And you must make sure there's a ½ inch head space. You'll find after you debubble it that you may need to add a little more water, which tomato water came right off of the pan you see over there. This is debubbling everything. And then you're going to clean the top of this with some vinegar and a clean cloth to take off any residue. And then you place your lids, which you should have washed, cleaned, and kept warm, on top of the jar, as well as the rings should be washed, cleaned, and put on the jar. After you've done that, you place it back into the water bath canner. The reason why I've chosen this canner this way is because it's 85 minutes to boil. Once you've done them all, it's a rigorous boil, like you see here, for 85 minutes, according to the USDA canning guide, which is free, and you should go and get a copy. As you can see here, they're all done. I take the lid off and I leave them in there for 5 minutes in most cases. And this, when you remove them now from the canner, do it so straight. You can do a little tilt if you want to take the water off the top, and then place them on a towel or another mechanism, like something that they don't get cold shock, they can shatter. You're going to leave them 24 hours in that area. So make sure you've got a couple of inches between them, and they should seal quite nicely for you after that. So you'll see here also in the shot intermittently that I put all of the skins in a jar, which you can dehydrate if you want. So here the jars are finished, and they will sit for 24 hours until they are finished. Then clean them up, wash them, put them away.